What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right. Before I get to the video, let me give a shout out to both Ticket TV and Town Biz for their videos on this situation. Shout out to them. Subscribe to their channels. Now, I want to talk about this situation with Stephen A. Smith, aka Stephen A. Snitch, and this trade that would have went down if it wasn't for him running his big ass mouth. That would have went down between Tracy Mcgrady and Allen Iverson. Now, I had never heard about this before. Now, I heard about, of course, the trade that would have happened in the '97 offseason with Mcgrady going to the Bulls in exchange for Scottie Pippen, but Michael Jordan nixed that trade. Didn't want to be part of any type of rebuilding process. So, but I never heard about this one. Now, apparently, I'm assuming this would have been the 1999 offseason. This would have been after the abbreviated 50-game season in '99 due to the strike, and before the '99-2000 season. So this is when Mcgrady was with the Toronto Raptors. But this was right after Vince Carter arrived. And Tracy had this thing where he wanted to shine on his own to an extent. Or show that he could, play. And the Raptors are going to trade him to the Sixers in exchange for Larry Hughes. But Stephen A. Smith, being a local writer, I think at that time, what was it, the Philadelphia Inquirer, I think it was? Someone can correct me if that's not correct. He put it out there publicly, and then before the trade was even done, and then the Raptors got cold feet. They withdrew the trade. They renixed, they withdrew the trade, and it didn't happen. Now, the thing about Stephen A. Smith is, and I don't really have to go much more into it, he has a big mouth. Look, over time, and we've all said this about Stephen A. Smith, the guy can't be trusted. He's a snitch. He will betray his sources. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't know how to keep his fucking mouth shut sometimes. And the thing that really bothers me the absolute most about Stephen A. Smith is the way that he has betrayed people, whether it's NBA players. He used players as branches for his own career. You know what I'm saying? He's used players, I think the better way to say this, he's used players as stepping stones for his own career and then have betrayed them. He's done that with Allen Iverson. I remember when he had his show, AI used to come on his show all the time. He betrayed Allen Iverson eventually. He recently pretty much betrayed Carmelo Anthony. One thing I'll say about Ahmad Rashad was able to cultivate great relationships with NBA players, including Michael Jordan. People can say he was a brown nose or whatever, but it was the reason why he had great rapport with players because he was a real dude. And also, I mean, he was an athlete in his own right. You know what I'm saying? Ahmad Rashad was an athlete in his own right. And a guy like Stephen A. Smith, who probably is on par with a guy like Skip Bayless when it comes to his athletic career, they have these insecurities and, I don't know, I don't want to go too far into it, but the guy's an asshole, okay? So that's why a lot of players don't trust him. And like Ticket TV said in one of his live streams yesterday, and I agree with it, I don't understand why players want to play with this dude any fucking, why they want to talk to this guy anyway. I don't understand why they want to talk to him. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I want to talk about this situation, though, with this proposed team. Now, I think it could have worked. And I'll tell you why. Now, it didn't work with Jerry Stackhouse and Allen Iverson. Okay, that backcourt. I think Stackhouse was traded during the '97-'98 season. It didn't work. But I think it was for different reasons. Number one, Jerry Stackhouse came into the league, I think, 95, 96. One of the top rookies that year. I think he was second in voting in Rookie of the Year behind Damon Stoudemire of the Toronto Raptors. They go to Raptors figuring again in this situation. But he had a solid rookie year. But I remember there were some lofty expectations for Jerry. Like, if I'm not mistaken, coming into that season, he was looked upon as the top potential rookie. You know what I'm saying? And Damon kind of overperformed. Not to say Jerry didn't have a great rookie year, but Jerry was the guy that was compared to Mike. He came from UNC. He had the bald head. He was 6'6". He was a shooting guard. I remember back then he bragged about beating Jordan one-on-one in UNC. And then when they played against each other, Mike dropped like 50 and 3/4 against him. Made him look like a fool. But that was supposed to be Jerry Stackhouse' team, right? The team was supposed to be built around him. And then the very next year, Allen Iverson arrives to the Sixers in '96. And we all know that Allen Iverson was a cultural phenomenon, especially in the black community. You know what I'm saying? He's probably the second biggest cultural impact when it comes to NBA player behind Michael Jordan, in my opinion. AI. He was that guy. And I think that kind of rubbed Jerry the wrong way. AI got a lot of attention. He had this phenomenal rookie year. He won Rookie of the Year, unlike Jerry Stackhouse. You know what I'm saying? But AI was the point at that time. He was the point guard. But they had chemistry issues. Jerry Stackhouse is a fine scorer. He was a great scorer. But that's pretty much what he wanted to do. I think he felt like Iverson was kind of in the way. You know what I'm saying? And they didn't get along with one another. Jerry Stackhouse was a very aggressive guy, for what I've been reading about him over years. He got into a lot of altercations. There was an infamous altercation between him and AI where he supposedly punched AI in the face, knocked him down. All right. And as time went on, AI was proving to be the better of the two players. All right. And like I said, AI was the more talented player, the more dynamic player, had more upside. And Stackhouse kind of was flatline. Like you saw what you could get with AI. With Stackhouse. You know what I'm saying? And when he went to Detroit, he was able to score all the points he wanted. You know, he had the one year where he scored like 29 points a game or something like that up there, almost 30 points a game. But he was on a terrible team. But I think he liked that. You know, that's the type of player to me Jerry Stackhouse was. All right, not knocking him, but he was fine, in my opinion, maybe scoring 27, 28 points a game on a bad team. That wasn't going to cut it for a guy like AI. He wanted to win. I think with Tracy McGrady, with him, first of all, being a year behind AI and also coming to Philly, the dynamic would have been different. Tracy would have realized that was AI's team, so the respect factor was going to be there from the get-go. Number two, McGrady, even though this is the thing that people forget about McGrady, even though McGrady won 2 scoring titles with Orlando, it was kind of just by default, by accident, because that was supposed to have been him and Grant Hill there. And earlier, for a while, they almost got Tim Duncan in 2000 before Dave Robinson talked Tim Duncan out of going to Orlando and staying with San Antonio. But Tracy McGrady was a great scorer, but he didn't necessarily have to go up there and shoot the ball 25 times. That was by necessity because the Orlando Magic teams were so fucking bad outside of Tracy McGrady. But I can see McGrady still flourishing with a guy like AI. I think their personalities, Tracy's a lot more chill. You know what I'm saying? don't get me wrong, the guy's still competitive and wanted to win, but I could see them getting along better than Jerry Stackhouse. And like I said, I think Tracy McGrady is just a better overall player in his prime than Jerry Stackhouse. He could offer more than just scoring. I think he was when McGrady really wanted to, he was an underrated defender. When he really was motivated to play defense, he was an underrated passer. I think they would have played well with each other. I think AI in this situation probably would have stayed at the point guard. I don't think either one of them would have led the league in scoring in this scenario. I could see AI being more like, I could see him putting up numbers like more like 25 and 9, like as far as assists. I could see him putting up like 25 points, 8.5 to 9 assists or something like that in this scenario, maybe 9.5. I could even see him leading the league in assists a couple years. McGrady, I think he would probably average like 24, 25, 26. They both would have been like around that 25, 26 point per game mark. You know, I'm thinking. I think they would have been a top team in the Eastern Conference. Would they have won any championships? I don't know. I don't. It would have taken. It would have taken a Herculean effort by both of these guys to pull something like that off. Now, in real life, the 2001 Sixers were able to win. Were able to win a title. Excuse me, not a title. Jesus, were able to win a game in the NBA Finals against the Lakers. That was about it. Now, in this scenario, being that the Raptors, not the Raptors, excuse me, the Sixers did acquire Theo Ratliff in that Stackhouse trade. Do they still make that move to get Mutombo in 2000, 2001? So would they still have a team? Would they have a team that's more like the Kimbe Mutombo at center? Who was that power forward? Was it Tyrone Hill? I think it was Tyrone Hill, George Lynch. Maybe Aaron McKee comes off the bench in this situation. Then you have McGrady, then AI. I think that team makes it to the finals. I think that the finals is a bit more competitive, but I still see the Lakers winning like 4 games to 2. You know what I'm saying? I just think that it would just be more competitive. Now, how would they do against the Spurs? I think the Spurs series will be a little bit more competitive. Now, I think that this AI team could possibly beat those Nets teams just off of having a guy like McGrady, who was really developing himself as a player at that time. Also, another thing you got to consider too, when you got a really good team, veterans want to come and join. You know what I'm saying? Guys just trying to get a ring or some shit. So I can see a situation like with this Sixer team being like viewed as the best team in the Eastern Conference. I can see them showing up their bench a little bit better, you know, in this situation. Maybe, and I'm saying maybe they could somehow get a ring against a team like the Spurs, maybe in 2003 or something. Maybe. So let's just say that happens. AI with a championship, McGrady with a championship. Even if they never win another title again, they would have a couple of final appearances in their belt and a championship. AI would probably be looked at as, he might not have the scoring titles, but you know what I'm saying, maybe his scoring points are a little bit lower as far as totals, But that championship ring, I'm telling you, man, it really, in today's environment, it's like it just heightens people's perception of your career. Um, AI is looked at as a top 40 all-time player, prime-time scorer, has the second highest career scoring average in playoff history at 30 points a game. Um, if he won a title, maybe he's looked at as a top 25 all-time player. Mcgrady, maybe he's looked at instead of as a top 70 or 80, whatever the fuck he is, 90. Maybe he's looked at as top 50. I don't know. Um, but rings do enhance your career because let me tell you something. Bill Bradley, right? Not picking on him, but Bill Bradley is in the Hall of Fame. Two-time champion with the New York Knicks, right, in the 70s. Just go look at his numbers, right? I know numbers don't tell everything, but look at his numbers and try to justify to me why he's in the Hall of Fame. You know, I know that he went on to become a politician, a long-time senator from the state of New Jersey, you know, but just look at his numbers. Uh, I don't see it. So rings do enhance your career a lot, man. I'm saying, but tell me what you guys think.